Hi there, my name's Jackie Malpass and this is a presentation for Costa Women International Women's Day 2017, and I'm going to be talking about blogging for small business. So a little bit about me. I'm a personal brand strategist and I have three main ways that I help people to build their brand. One is to write a book, two is to blog your book, and three is to turn your book into an online course. I'm also a writer and an author, and I have several books already published and many more in the pipeline. And my background is in IT, sales and marketing, executive coaching, and in training. Now, to me, it feels like I have been blogging forever. And on my own site, I have 600 plus blogs, and goodness knows how many blogs I have for the many sites that I have blogged for over the years. And yeah, these fingers have certainly done some writing. So the first thing that I would advise is that you get very clear about why you want to write your blog. So one of the reasons is it will obviously enhance your visibility and position you as an expert in your field. It will help you build your brand, and as you share your content and the way that you share it will change, you will really begin to build your reputation and credibility. The other thing about blogging is it will improve your writing skills, and you're going to learn new planning tools and methodologies, and you're going to help people to do things, because let's face it, your blog is not always about you, it's about your end client and the kinds of things that they are going to be worried about. So get clear on your why before you do anything else. Now, one of the things that people often talk to me about is I don't know how, and I don't know how to start, and I can't write, and who's going to read it, and there's all kinds of stuff that goes on. But one of the biggest things is this technology barrier, or this feeling that technology is going to stand in your way. It won't. Technology is an amazing enabler, and the platform that I use is called WordPress. And WordPress comes in two flavors. So WordPress, if you like, is kind of like your underlying support system. And what WordPress is going to do is give you a platform onto which you can create your blogs and your web pages. So two very distinct things. So you have www.wordpress.com, which is free, and what you'll end up is with a domain name, which is whatever you want to call it. So it could be www.jackiemalpass.wordpress.com or whatever you want it to be. Or you could create your own domain name. So you purchase a domain name, you purchase some web hosting, and I use a fabulous company called SiteGround, and you install WordPress. And what you're going to end up with is a menu that looks similar to this. Now, I have lots of bits and pieces installed in my basic framework, but this is the bit that we're looking at, this thing called posts. Posts are our articles, are our blogs, as opposed to pages, which are our static web pages. So about us, our services, the training courses that we offer and stuff like that. Then on top of my WordPress, I install a theme, and I use a fabulous company called Thrive Themes. And I guess the best way to think about this is that if you think about WordPress as your naked body, or maybe you don't want to think about WordPress as your naked body, but think about WordPress in whatever way you like. I'm going to say a naked body, so it's your framework. And then on top, you want some clothes because you want to show off your style, and that's what a theme is. There are lots of free themes. I, however, have over the years fallen in love with Thrive Themes because they offer so much. For example, one of the things that happened to me a few years ago, maybe actually about 2 years ago, is I had a lot of problems with my website, and I had been installing plugins and they were free and they were full of holes, vulnerabilities, and somebody got in and just destroyed my website. Now, what I like about Thrive themes is they have these plugins which become part of the package, and because they all come from the same place, you know that they're safe and secure, and they have some absolutely fabulous plugins that are going to add great functionality to your website. For example, the latest one they brought out is a quiz builder, absolutely brilliant for testing your market and getting people really engaged in your blog. Now, so we've got the technology out the way. So we've got WordPress, we've got a theme, we've got some plugins. Everything is sitting there waiting for us to put some content in there. But before you go any further, what you need to do is you need to have a plan. Now, I primarily use my blog to support my books and my courses. And whatever your business is, your blog will be about supporting whatever it is that you do, but from a client perspective. So we're looking at what are the kind of issues and problems that your client has that you're going to answer. So in my case, I have a book, I have a series of courses, and what I do is I use those things, the content of those things, as my content plan. So what do I mean by that? So for example, I have a book, as you just saw, called Plan Your Nonfiction Book in a Weekend. And one of the things that I have done for one of my courses, which is about how you blog your book, is I've used the book in my blogs. So I've blogged the book and then repurposed the content for my book. So you can see very clearly I am addressing the questions that a client has. For example, how do they create a chapter outline? That also links to my course and to my book. Now, you may not have courses or books, so just think about the things that you do have and how you are addressing your client's problems, and that will form the basis of your plan. So I have a plan, and I always think about what am I going to blog about next. So just recently, I've been migrating my courses from one platform to another, and that's given me an opportunity to change some of the content of that course based on the feedback that the previous clients had given me. So what I'm going to do next is I have the Plan Your Nonfiction Book in a Weekend course, and now I have a blog plan around how to turn my book or your book into a course, and that's what I will be blogging about next to drive people into my course so that we have some kind of call to action. So when you're thinking about what you're going to write about, put things into categories. It makes it so much easier. So my categories are things like writing a book, blogging your book, turn your book into a course, personal branding. And then, although I did say we use our blogs to answer they answer our clients' questions, and they're all about our clients, I have musings. So when I feel like writing something that has pretty much nothing to do with any of the other categories, I pop it into a category called musings. And actually what's nice about musings is that it allows your prospective clients and your clients to get to know you a little bit better. And what's lovely about these categories is they are repeatable themes. You can keep on finding content within those categories. I'm also going to suggest that you are open to ideas. So look at the opportunities that are around you, explore, do lots of research, think about the industry that you're in and industry news, and are there any specific newspapers or magazines for your industry that if you just read them would spark some creative genius in you? Think about your niche. Consider themes, talking points, questions, arguments, any kind of concepts or concepts that you want to bring to market. But just have a look around at what's going on. Be a witness. So keep a notebook with you at all times when you are looking around for ideas, and just keep jotting them down. And sure as eggs is eggs, you will soon have a plan. So gather that information and then pick those topics and expand them. So brainstorm and see where the brainstorm takes you. And keep going with your ideas. You can put all your ideas into different buckets. So I might have a writing the book bucket and a blogging book bucket and a course bucket. And I'm just going to keep looking at what's going on around me and keep putting stuff in there and expanding the topics. And then I'm going to narrow them down. I'm going to park what doesn't feel right for now. I'm never going to throw anything away. I'm going to explore what feels right. And I'm going to expand what feels right by answering the questions that my ideal reader has. Remember, it's always about them, not you. So your ideal reader is going to have a whole pile of questions. Your job is to fire them up, inspire them, get them asking for more and sharing your stuff. So what is your ideal reader interested in? Go and look what is trending. Go and look in groups and go, look at Twitter and BuzzFeed and look at your competitors are doing. Just again, it's this whole being a witness. There is stuff absolutely everywhere if you pay attention. And like I said, you keep that notebook with you, you have your swipe file, and it'll be dead easy. Another tool that I use is something called Post Planner, and I again have a whole load of categories, and it just goes off and finds me stuff that other people have written, and I can either just share that to my Facebook groups and pages, or I can use it for inspiration and write a blog around it. Have a swipe file, so that'll be your notebook. I also use something called Evernote. So I have my categories and my topics, and where I see something, I just copy the URL or the image and I shove it into my swipe file. So then, we've done all this ideation. What do we do next? Well, there's lots and lots of easy ways of creating content. And, all you have to do is surf the internet and you will find lots of people who will give you ideas, as I did with this, how to, so many easy steps to do, why, how I discovered, how to find, etc., etc., etc. So get yourself a list of templated headlines and then start to fill in the blanks. The other thing that I do, and this is free, this is from a company called CoSchedule, and it's a headline analyzer. So you can see this headline says, how to inspire your ideal reader to read your blog today. And it gives me a score of 68, and it'll tell me how well I'm doing in terms of the kinds of words that I'm using and how they will connect to my ideal reader. And this time I've got a completely different one that says how to inspire your ideal reader with your brilliance. And now my score's gone into the green, and you can see that where I've got common, emotional and power words. So this is a great tool to help you with headlines, really nailing your headlines. The other thing to consider is a plugin. And the SEO, search engine optimization plugin from Yoast, will help you again with how you write your blogs. So they have to be written in a specific way so that the search engines can find them. So that's free. And something else that I use that isn't free is called the web text tool. I love this. This is absolutely brilliant. It sits inside my blog here, and I put in my keyword, and it will keep telling me as I'm writing how I'm actually doing in terms of getting really good optimized content. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's helping people to find you. So what is your subject? Do you have books and courses? Maybe you teach nutrition. What is it that, your ideal reader is looking for? How do you narrow it down? So get really, really connected to them. So think about the kind of messages you want for each of your ideal readers. And then, what else can you do? Well, you can share your videos. So if you do things like Facebook Lives, and this is using a product called BeLive.tv, you can share those. You can share other people's videos, quotes and images, things that make, break up the text and make it look more interesting. You can do things like putting infographics in. I love infographics. It's brilliant. They're so visual, and they tell a story much better than the written word. So what else can you do? You can get your readers to engage with you by adding in things like give them something away for free, and what they have to do is share the blog to be able to unlock the content. And also there's another plugin up here called Click to Tweet. So you make it really easy for your readers to tweet and share your content. I talked about creating quizzes with the Thrive Quiz Builder, so you can create quizzes for your blogs to get your people engaged. Images, absolutely vital that you use really, really good images. The first two sites on here, Pixabay and Unsplash, are free, and Deposit Photos you need to pay for. But Unsplash, absolutely amazing in terms of images, so you need a really, really good image for your blog. I use something called canva.com. There is a free and a paid for version. I have the paid for version, but it lets you create your images in the right size for wherever you're sharing them. So for example, I create a single image for my blog header, and then I turn it into an image for a quote, Pinterest, what else I put it on? I put it on Instagram and Twitter. So I think about all my different and LinkedIn. I think about all my different social media platforms, and this product, the paid for version, does an auto resize. Absolutely brilliant. And then what I do with all of those images and my blogs is I use something called the co-schedule calendar. This is not free, I pay for it. And what this does is enables me to I have a template that I put my blog into, and I can tell it when I want it to retweet or repost or send it to Pinterest or whatever. And I put it in something called a requeue. So literally I set the template up once, it posts it to wherever I've asked it to, and it will just keep doing that until I turn the requeue off. It is absolutely fantastic. What else can you do? I'm all about repurposing my content. I will write one blog and I will repurpose it for my own website several times over, and I will repurpose it for places like LinkedIn and Huffington Post. So one blog, many, many, many uses. And as you can tell, what I have done with this presentation is I've repurposed it. So I've repurposed it for my blog, and it will also be on LinkedIn. There'll be a YouTube video, and the slides will be on LinkedIn via SlideShare. It's all about how you maximize your content and you repurpose it so that it doesn't become a chore. You know, you've got to make life easy for yourself. So my challenge to you is go and write 54 blog titles. Just think about those things that your clients, your prospective clients, ask you. Go and search for blog question templates and just create. Just sit, have a brainstorming session and just create 54 titles. That's one blog a week for the next year, and it's job done. The other thing I might like to challenge you to is, how about you think about, if you have a book inside you, how you might blog that book. And you could actually write your first draft in 30 days if you joined a blogging challenge. So there's some ideas about blogging and some of the tools that you can use. I absolutely love blogging. It's been one of the things that has really enabled me to grow my business and to get really focused in my writing. It's helped my writing to improve because I've used it to get feedback off other people. If you want to connect with me, if you have any questions, then we can talk about your blogs, how to structure them. I can have a look at your writing. If you want to turn your blogs into a book, or if you've got a book and you want to blog it, please do get in touch with me. You can find me at jackiemalpass.com. You can find me on Facebook. I have a writing group called Writing for the Soul, and you can also find me on Twitter. And I really do hope that you have enjoyed this 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes presentation on blogging for small business.